Well, hello everyone. We are back with the newest episode of My Turn, My Truth, a show that when it's your turn, you do what?
Tell your truth.
My wife already clowning me over here right now. Right now, you're looking at the Rice Man. Who else do we have with us tonight?
Mara. It's your girl Ken. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram at m.kennedii. Y'all know.
I'm Mackenzie.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Mario.
Hey.
Well, we have a full cast. They're giggling already tonight.
What was that?
We have a full cast, and for all y'all who do not know, this is the Rice family, all of us. We're all Rices here, and we want to put on a family podcast because we want you to see it from a family's perspective.
Yep.
There are a lot of podcasts that show it from a lot of different perspectives, but, you know, a family united is something I think everyone needs to hear from.
Right.
All right. It's been a lot going on in social media, on TV, radio, everything. It's a lot of big happenings out there. And we always like to speak to topics that are relevant to where we are today and hot topics. We'll say that. It's something we wanted to start off with that's going to bring us into another line of conversation tonight. But first, we want to talk about the Willie Lynch letter. Okay. And his speech. And I know there are a lot of historians out there that would say it's been debunked. It's not a real letter. He wasn't a real person. That the timelines aren't the same because some of the jargon that was used or the terminology that was used wasn't around in 1712. It didn't come around to like 1800. And there are a lot of different ways that people view this, but I think it's relevant. Just like no one knows the birth of Christ, his birthday. They'll say, if you look at the stars and this and that, it couldn't have been December 25th, but we do know he was born.
Correct.
Whether we know the right date or can pinpoint it to an accurate time or whatever, doesn't mean that the birth did not happen. So
Yes.
for a lot of reasons, I feel like this is a real letter. The timeline can be questionable. And if you want to debunk that, that's fine. But I want to read a piece and then go on to it. William Lynch was a slave owner that obviously had his plantation running well. And the slaves obeyed him, and he was able to do some things that made his plantation successful. And other slave owners wanted him to come speak on how do you get your shop in order? How do you get your slaves to mind you and do what you need them to do? And in 1712, he came to make a historic speech and bring some literature for other slave owners to manipulate and manage their slaves. And I just want to give you an excerpt from the book. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it anywhere now. It's just basically everywhere. But in some of this, we're going to talk about, and then we're going to go to something else. All right. In part of his speech, it says this, and I'll read. Matter of fact, I'll read from the actual book. My wife gave me the book. Okay. It says, let's see. Let's find a good place to start. All right. It says, and when he was speaking, he had some literature. He says, in my bag here, I have a foolproof method of controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences amongst the slaves and make the differences bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and they will work throughout the South. Take this simple list of differences and think about them. On top of my list is age, but it's only there because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, size of plantations, and status on plantations, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley or on the hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of the differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation,
Wow.
respect, or admiration.
Mm-hmm.
The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling
Mm.
and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male versus the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. It is necessary that your slaves must trust and depend on us. They must love and respect and trust us only. Gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful of each other. And that's just a brief part of the Willie Lynch letter. Any comments before we move forward?
No.
No there. And I read.
Mackenzie's looking like he got something to say, child.
I just feel a little devious because I'm free now.
All right. And pull your mic a little closer to you. Yes. All right. So, all right.
You gotta put his face on the camera.
The reason that we bring this up is because one of the biggest stories in the news is this rape accusation against Jay-Z and Diddy. I know everybody like, oh man,
Yeah,
we're gonna
like,
right into it, didn't it?
But because we're going to be going back and forth
Okay,
to
gotcha.
the William Lynch letter and
how
where
it
it
relates.
pertains,
All
right?
All right, I got you.
All right, and I got to be honest, people. It absolutely sickens me to hear some of the things that we've heard. It is crabs in the bucket to me, and I know a lot of us are going to use that terminology tonight. But black folk, it seems like we love nothing more than to see our rich or powerful fall. It seems like we take great pride in the knocking of the black people down when we have a lack of information. We don't know what's going on. We've never met them. We know nothing about these people, but we will say that they're guilty because of they're powerful, or how much money that they have, or they know someone else, or it's connected to someone else. And we would just no matter what information comes out that gives you pause or will show you, hey, maybe they're not guilty, we're going to say that they're guilty because we just know we know that they are.
Even sometimes when they are proven to be innocent, we still double down on the fact that they're guilty. That's crazy.
Guilty. Yeah, we'll double down and say, well, they paid off the judge. They paid the accuser money. We have no idea what happened, but we will say they absolutely did it, and we know it.
Well, I feel like it goes back to what insert that you read out of the letter or the book, because that goes back to the distrust is easier than the trust. So it's easier for me, and that's with anything. I mean, I feel like it's all across. Well, I ain't gonna say across all races, because within our race, I feel like we are the worst or the best at the division thing.
Right.
But I feel like it's easier to grab hold of something that's negative and messy and juicy and sounds good versus something that's like real wholesome, real, stand up, like character and integrity stuff. It's like it's easier to feed into that other side. Now, I'm going to say this. If it comes out that he did do whatever he's accused of, just like any other man on this green earth, he needs to pay.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's right.
And the fact of the matter is, just because we say that we don't believe that he did, because I don't believe that he did it at all. But I'm not the type of person that I can say I made a mistake or I just didn't see it. Because I'm not going to sit here and destroy this man, this family, with just ruthless lies all across the internet, keyboard thugs. Everybody got a voice now because they got a phone that they probably, I ain't even go there. But it's easy for us to cast our opinions on people, especially people that are in the spotlight like that, with no proof.
Yeah.
Now, if you really think about Jay-Z, okay, I am a Jigga fan. I am.
Me too.
So, Jigga, I mean, you can tell the time frame. That's
right.
But anyways, y'all out there to know, y'all know.
What is it?
That's just another
nickname. That's his nickname.
You got Jay-Z, Jigga,
all those are his names.
Hova.
What is Jay, nigga? What is Jigga?
Ask him. I don't know. But anyway, what I will say is now, it is some truth behind the industry, because I do believe that that's a very corrupt industry. I believe that to the core of my soul. I do believe that a lot of people sell their souls to get to certain levels within that industry, and within anything else for that matter. You just don't see it. But what I will say about Jay-Z and what I've known of as far as is listening to him and coming up or whatever the case may be, he's always shown himself as of great character and great integrity, whether you like it or not. When things are going sideways, he out.
Yeah.
Or when things are being misspoke about, he's gonna speak up about it. Things that I ain't gonna say that he ain't never club and go to strip clubs and nothing like that. What man haven't? But when it comes down to belittling to the point of how the other rappers belittle women, he didn't do that. And then he took more interest in paying somebody like Warren Buffett on how he got to the level that he at. This is his mentality. His mother talk about how intelligent he is. You can hear it in his rap songs. Yeah, he did some questionable things as far as selling drugs or whatever the case may be. He's been open and honest about it.
Right.
Then you got the NFL. These folks you don't know how fast them folks would have disassociated themselves with that crap if
they thought it was real.
Even a hint of truth behind it.
Nor Disney or NFL said we will continue our partnership.
Yeah, we heard allegations, and guess what? It ain't changing our relationship. But okay.
For me, I just feel like a lot of times we let our dislike for someone overcloud our judgment and like what we know. Just because I don't like you, so you must have did it because I don't like you. Like, so now I'm gonna jump on whatever bull crap somebody throw on the wall to see if it stick, and it don't stick, and I'm still on. Oh, now that it's coming out, and I may be wrong about it. He paid somebody off, or this happened, or maybe he just didn't do it. Maybe these people are coming out and saying they don't remember, or there's inconsistencies because it didn't happen.
Right.
Like it's just never, y'all can never think on the positive side. Like, just because you don't like someone don't automatically make them a bad person because you don't like them.
Right.
What's going on? What my dad did say while reading the Willie Lynch book is that they pin each other. Like, we pin each other against each other.
That's correct.
And I would say one of the most satisfying things you can say against someone that you're going against is "I told you so." That phrase right there, I feel like is a line between us, because I feel like it's more uncomfortable to be on the side where he's good, because what I was told is, if you expect disappointment, you never get disappointed. If you expect that, it's always gonna happen that way. So I feel like it'll be easier. Shout out to Zendaya, Spider-Man. I got that from Spider-Man. But it's easier to say, he did it because when if he does do it, which he probably
Right,
they're going to
then
accuse
you would
him
have
of
been
doing,
right.
I told you so. See,
Right.
listen to me.
It's
Rather
like
than
you wanna
having
be
that
right.
trust factor, which
People's pride get
again
hurt when they
distrustful.
Right.
I don't think he did it. He's not this type of dude. And then when that happens, you get your feelings hurt, and it don't feel good.
I
Right.
was gonna
So
say,
that's what
people get their pride hurt, especially when they already feel
On
like
something
they're
simple.
convinced
If I say
that
water
they did it,
wet,
and
he
then
said
they're
no,
proved
it's
wrong.
not, and then they say it is, and I told you so. It makes you feel good. Gives off,
But I
Well,
feel like in this situation, why would you want to be that person to say I told you? Like you
because
want it to be able to
who
happen.
wouldn't know?
Because people
Like,
In reality,
I know.
who
I'm
wouldn't?
just saying,
You know?
like in a situation like this, I would not want to be that person because then that makes it true for this person to have
Right.
been
Right.
abused
Like,
in
but that's a
this
subconscious
sort of way,
thought.
and
It's
that's
I mean,
just
if
like,
they get
ugh.
some kind of benefit, such as
Yeah.
money from it, then
Or
they may
fame,
think that the
or-
outcome may be greater than just ruining somebody's life.
Yeah.
So-
I
But
mean, getting money from it is
Lying.
insane for
Oh, right.
ruining that permanently
yeah.
ruins.
I guess
someone.
I don't understand because I'm feeling like, all right, everybody has their people that are on they put
On a pedestal.
that are first family or royalty
Yeah.
of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken Bill Cosby from us, or he took it from himself.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye,
Mm-hmm.
Diddy,
Mm-hmm.
and we're hoping that they take Jay-Z down too.
O.J. Simpson.
Like, why do
R.
we as a
Kelly.
people, R. Kelly, why do we as a people want to see our own fall? That goes back to
Yeah.
the Willie Lynch letters.
Well,
Right.
Because it sounds like, and I'm going to say this word because it was used in the Willie Lynch letters. It's like all the field niggas hoping that the house nigga fall.
well, he didn't say nigga.
No, I'm
So what he
Okay.
say?
Okay.
What he say?
I'm
what he
saying it how I
Yeah,
say
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you
Because
said you was
I'm
talking about
relating
the
to
book.
I'm relating to the audience that I'm speaking to.
Yeah.
All right. It sounds like a bunch of house niggers hoping.
No,
I mean,
the
a lot
field
of field niggas that are hoping that the house nigga fall because the field black person was pitted against the house black.
He
person.
Right,
worked
because
hard.
you got it better.
The Willie Lynch letter said, "Tell the black slaves that are outside working hard that the house person that's eating off the master's table is laughing at them,
Right.
and they think they better than them,
And that's the whole thing.
and
to this day.
it's self-perpetuating.
Yep.
And now we hope to see somebody from the house fall.
Well,
Yeah.
and out of all of the names that you named, I can somewhat agree, but I'm gonna have to disagree with some because, like I said, if
some people did it.
If you did it, you
should
deserve
do the
what
time.
you get.
That's right.
So
Absolutely.
I'm
Right.
not putting
But
that
to
kind
his
of stuff like
statement,
that.
I'm just going off the rip. He said, "Well, I kind of agree with too. I don't put nothing past nobody,
Right.
but I'm not gonna just cast judgment on you because
Right.
your name.
Right.
I'm not gonna
Right.
do that either.
Right.
But they did the same thing with TD Jakes.
Right.
Oh, I told you. I knew he
Right.
was crooked. Like, how did you know he was crooked?
Right.
And they say it as
It's like
Like,
he wanted him to be.
Yeah, like we wanted this guy. Anybody that gets too much props or too much praise, we hate him.
But see, I don't even really know where to go with this because with the whole Jay-Z and Beyonce thing, when I'm on online, I mean they coming after these people's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how old is this little girl?
13.
I'm like,
12, 13,
you're
yeah.
coming after a child. Then you're not only that, you're talking about how they don't need to be with their child. Goes back to the separation, pulling the families
Pinning
Right.
against each
apart.
other,
Yeah, pinning against each other. They not fit to be a parent. They done said that Beyonce ain't the girl real mama. They done killed
She
the
stole-
real mama.
yeah,
They
yeah.
stole
Saw
the.
that.
I'm like, these people are freaking sick in the head.
If anyone in the social media realm puts out some propaganda against someone, and it sounds like it could be true because
Everybody
people
jump on
with
the
a lot of
bandwagon.
money, billionaires
Right.
can steal somebody, baby. And all the conspiracy theorists around the world say, yeah, I believe they did. I believe they did steal the baby. Have you ever met them? No.
But what
Do you know these people? No.
But-
I mean, have you ever come in contact with anybody that knows these people? No. But I know they did it.
Because they're
bro,
part of it. Because they're a part of the industry.
But-
But then when you take your favorite artist, what are they doing?
right.
What are they doing? And then when you take your favorite artist, like with the Beyonce and Jay-Z thing, okay, this happened before he even knew Beyonce. but all of a sudden she is as guilty as
Yeah,
he
she
is.
part of
Because
it.
he should know.
Because she should know. Or and then but when it comes to other families, it's husband and spouse privilege.
Right.
You can't discuss what's going on because that's kept confidential, that's kept secret. Whatever they discuss, there's just like an attorney and a client between husband and wife. But because it's Jay-Z and Beyonce, oh Lord Jesus.
And that's why I kind of stay out of the critics, man. I kind of,
Right.
I mean, I keep myself informed enough to hang on in, society. But you know, my mom just says, it's mental, and I really feel like slavery is still in its prime almost.
Absolutely.
We not chained up. We not
it's slavery of the mind.
It's slavery of the mind. And what
Yeah.
you said is mental. And that's really a big thing. Like we're not getting beat no more, but mentally that part he said going against each other, that
It's
never
like
went
that
away.
3,000
It
years.
never
It's
went
like
away.
repeating.
It almost
Yeah.
got worse because now it's to the point where we killing each other.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
like
on a very high
crazy.
basis.
like when it says pit the female against the male. Now the females are looking at the males side eye because grandma did and great grandma did and mama did, because they said once you instill it in them, it'll just self perpetuate through the generation. So now you hear stuff like, man, men ain't shit. Because it's one of those self-perpetuating things that has come down from generation to generation. Yeah. Don't trust no man. Yeah. Don't do this.
So it's instilled in
deal with the bear.
Absolutely.
Before you deal with the man. It comes it's coming down. It's coming down.
And then the lack of information, because they weren't there. Grandma did it. Great grandma did it because they took the man. So if you really go from the top, the top,
they took him away from him.
Your mind, the whole logic is misconstrued because the man wasn't there because they took the man. Yeah. It's not because he didn't want to be there. It's because they took him.
So I'm going to pause right there and go ahead and read the insert that I wanted to read from the same letter and or pamphlet, booklet, whatever you want to call it. The Negro Marriage Unit. We breed 2 N-word males with 2 N-word females. Then we take the N-word males away from them and keep them moving and working. Say the N-word female bears a N-word female and the other bears a N-word male, both N-word females being without influence of the N-word male image, frozen with an independent psychology. Thank you, Zach. Sorry, human, y'all. Will raise their offspring into reverse positions.
Wow.
The one with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself, independent and negotiable. We negotiate with her, through her, by her, and negotiate her at will. The one with the N male offspring, she being frozen with a subconscious fear for his life, will raise him to be mentally dependent and weak, but physically strong. In other words, body over mind. Now, in a few years, when these 2 offspring become fertile for early reproduction, we will mate and breed them and continue the cycle. That is good, sound, and long-range comprehensive planning.
You know what? And that makes a lot of sense for how, like, you can see that now, still very strong in our race.
Right, because it's down to what some of the percentages we gave last week. It's the highest percentage of races that black men and women aren't married. We were not together. Because the women, like you just read, saying, I don't need no dude. Other races of women don't say that.
None.
Not at all.
Our race, because of something that has been going from generation to generation, they feel like they don't need a dude. They about their business. They can make it by themselves. They're a boss bee and they can do this. And it's like, man, and I read somewhere a while back, the degradation of the male, where master was raping the black female. The female's husband, the black husband, had to watch. So it was to the point where he'll get killed or get his feet chopped off or something like that. So he was made to feel helpless,
worthless,
worthless, and I cannot help my black woman. I can't. Like I physically, literally can. If I try to help or if I stand up and say stop, I'm dead.
Yeah.
So, and the woman was like, where were you when I needed you?
Mm.
And he was like, what did you want me to do?
Right.
You know, other than die.
Pinned against each
And
other.
then it's still gonna happen regardless.
And now she feels like I can't count on him because he let this happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like,
it was a lose-lose situation.
what am I, if I die, who's gonna protect you then?
Right.
If I allow it to happen but stay alive, maybe I could run some interference here or there or do something to try to help, or maybe we can escape later. But if I don't get to later,
There won't be
if
nothing.
I can't stay alive to later, then what good am I? Dead. And this has been perpetuating. It's self-refueling.
Yeah.
Right. And then again, that's very sad how it started. But look at now.
Right.
If you look at the present, like it was with what I just said earlier, it just seems like the men just don't want to be there, or the women just can't depend. It just has a negative connotation now. And it didn't start like that.
Right. Because now she doesn't trust him.
Right. Subconsciously.
And he's like, I'm worthless anyway.
Yeah. So like the book said. So,
right.
I mean,
and it's a shame that a system that was put in place for us is still working.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the shameful side, that we like to see each other fall. We don't like to see one of us get too far ahead. We'll bash him so we can bring him back to where we are and say, see, we're all the same.
And then it goes back to you saying that somebody saying that this, a lot of people, it's a conspiracy theories that this may not be accurate because of the wording, the timeline, things of that nature. But if it is not the truth, it surely is capturing how we are with one another.
Right.
Correct. Because I was going to say, people feel that way, and white people have felt that way. So even if it wasn't an accurate letter, it's a very true depiction. Right.
Told the truth.
Exactly.
Right.
That was their truth.
Yes.
Right.
That's how they felt.
So I feel like it may not be a real William Lynch, but this teaching was real.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't care who
100%.
wrote it.
Yeah.
But this teaching is real.
Right.
I don't care what the timeline is, but it's real.
Yeah.
Right. And Jimmy Robinson, what's up, Jimmy, man?
What's up?
Jimmy said, it's so true. He said, but he would have died defending his wife and family.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I think that's how we feel now.
You're the one of
now.
Yeah.
I think being in that situation then, when there's just hopelessness.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that free mind now.
We've never seen another black dude escape. I mean, the ones that tried, they caught him, brought him back, sick the dogs on him, had him rip him to shreds in front of the rest of the slaves to make sure you knew that if you do this, and then your wife is saying, don't do that. Just I'll handle it. I'll take it. And then you have this dynamic of, because if she loves you enough, she'll say, I'll let him have my body, but at least I'll be alive and you'll be alive. Because a lot of women feel like that, or did feel like that, because what use are you to me dead?
Absolutely. I was just going to say that. In those situations, it was like, it's a lose-lose situation because I can't do nothing if I'm alive because I'll die. And if I do something and then I die, it's still going to happen. Like, the same thing will happen. You won't be there to see it, but doesn't mean that it won't happen.
Still continue.
So it's just like, that is just a very hard, tough position to be in. And yeah, like we said, like, hindsight is 50-50. We can say what we would have done. Like right now, we're not in that mindset of being there. We're in a mindset of we grew up free. Well, so obviously,
right,
correct.
A man will, and probably a lot of them have.
I have to die.
Died in protecting their families at the moment, but
now.
it
right.
protects them for now, and then later on.
But in that setting, it wasn't. You didn't have the same, and I'm gonna say you, but the people, the ancestors at that time did not have that particular mindset because they were scared at their mind. They was taken from their land. They was brought over here. They was demoralized. they was dehumanized.
Absolutely.
And it's just like they were property, just like your house, your farm animals, different things like that. They were literally property. So these people can do whatever it is that they wanted to do, and there was no repercussion behind it. And so the fact of the matter is like, yes, we're no longer in that mindset, but are we really? I mean, we're just not.
Right.
We're not necessarily the husband and a wife scenario, but the scenario of continuing to grow, continuing to move forward, continue to push our people forward versus tearing our people down,
right,
or not supporting one another, or feeling like, we're pinning up against each other because you may consider my house bigger than the next house, or my house smaller than the next house, or I drive this type of car, you drive this type of car. It's the same type of mentality. You're pinned against each other instead of the economics as far as you being in the house or in the field. It's like, are you in this neighborhood or that neighborhood?
Right.
Are you in this
car,
zip code
that
or that
car,
zip code?
Right.
Or you wearing this brand or no brand?
Right. You go to this school or that school.
It's
right.
sad.
And it's down to, in everyday terminology, to let you know how the William Lynch training for slave owners worked and how they used it against us. How many times have you heard a light-skinned girl say, the dark-skinned girls don't like me?
Yeah.
We don't get along because I'm light-skinned and I got long hair and they don't like me. Or black dudes saying, man, I don't know why I don't like him. Maybe just because he light-skinned, he's soft.
And we joke about it.
And we joke about it.
But deep down, that's
that
really
because
he's
light-skinned, he's softer than us. Because dark-skinned mean, tough and strong. Light-skinned mean, soft and whatever like that. We know we hear this today in real talk from black people, from person to person, that we feel like one is softer than the other. One is, because, of course, after the brainwashing, the house N-word feel different about master than the field N-word do. Because he getting whooped and treated a little different than you. So when they and it goes back to biblical in the book of Daniel, when Nebuchadnezzar sees the children of Israel, and he wanted Daniel to come into to with him, and he brought them all the smartest, the best
nice
and the nice looking people into the king's court, and said, I'm gonna feed them from my kitchen and make sure they know that I'm not that bad. Because if the influencers believe that I'm not bad, they'll go out and tell the other people and say,
really not that
what? They're not that bad. Master not that bad. He bad, but give him some grace. That was biblical. So they tried to influence the influencers to influence everybody else. Absolutely. To soften how the person that was taking over was perceived. Yeah. And it was biblical. It was way before even then, that if you influence the influencers, though, if you take it over somebody and you influence the influencers, they'll influence everyone else.
Even today.
Exactly.
And even in this election today.
Exactly.
The exact same thing happened. It was the person that was trying to take over and win had to do a whole bunch of influence. And the other person that was not in the race at all, she had to do a whole bunch of influence. It's the exact same thing.
That's the
today.
biggest power you can have over anybody.
It's influence.
Is the biggest.
Thing ever.
And that's why people that have influence, I look at influence and power one and the same.
Absolutely.
And that's why people want to destroy people with power, because they don't want them to have that big of a voice. Yep. They don't want them to have that big of a, I guess, like, when they voice their opinion, more people might catch hold of it.
Absolutely.
And especially if it's a person that's hard to sway, and they stand on character, they stand on integrity, they stand on certain values, then you want to try to damage that person's character.
Their character, right. You want to make them look bad. Just like, when you can't sway someone now, when you can't sway someone now, even when they're not that big, like if you get a person that you can't sway, like in school or something, then they must be stuck up or standoffish, or you're shaming me because you don't feel like this, or you get these grades and you live in this neighborhood. You're Oreo because you don't talk like us, and this, that, and the third. Like, it just, you try to damage that person because they're not like you. Like that said, you want to bring them back down to your level,
to reality,
like
to even playing field.
What even is that? Like, that upsets me.
And that goes back to distrust.
Mike Brown said he would have stayed in the King's Court for real.
I think most people would have.
But you know what? Because the King's Court was easier.
And you light skinned.
You know I'm mad. That's the key. That's the key to my palace.
But I feel like a lot of people would have, because just the mindset of humans is they try to make things easier.
They want the better.
Like, a lot of people would say, I wouldn't be a house N-word because I don't want to be an Uncle Tom or this type of person. But in that situation, your mind kicks into self-preservation mode and what's going to be best for me. So it's like, I'm going to pick what's easier for me.
Give me the apron.
So, right. Like, no,
you said
and
your
it's
mind
like
kicks in self-preservation mode.
It's like, it's not subconsciously, I'm trying to be better than you, or I want to be better than you, or I'm better than you. It's just that this is better for me. So,
I'm choosing a better route for me.
Right.
I had a plate. Give me some cookies.
In this, I know we've talked about a lot, but in this, there has to be, like, there are a lot of, I'm going to say this, try to skirt around it. There's a lot of white people that are debunking the William Lynch letters because they said that's just black folks' excuse for their situation now.
No, they're just sorry because they don't want to get hit.
Right. They're saying that, no, because if we give them this excuse, they can still say the oppression, the white people, and the white people are trying to distance themselves from that. Say, I didn't do this to you. That was a long time ago. I never had slaves.
So
I never owned a plantation. And I had never had. So they're saying we're giving them, if we say this is a real letter, we're giving them an excuse to continue to act like how they're acting. And I want to say this before I know you want to comment, Morgan.
And Marielle.
They feel like now you should know better. Get over it.
Yeah.
You've had enough time. There have been enough 2-3 generations here that we should separate yourself from that. And as much as I want to say, you don't know how this William Lynch letter self-perpetuated and is still influencing our community now. The other part of me says, come on, guys, when you know better, you got to do better.
Thank you. I've been feeling that forever.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't want to, be the Uncle Tom, but like, hey,
that ain't got nothing to do with being a doggone
I'm talking about to the other people. I'm not talking about me. I'm just saying in general. Oh, you just saying that because you're a white girl? I'm in a different world than you.
Right. You're right.
I'm in a whole different world. So if I say the same thing you say, I'm going to get criticized.
You're right.
But at the same time, if you know better, you do better. And that is life.
And at the right time, you absolutely correct, son. And if anybody here call my son a doggone Uncle Tom, they got to come through me because Mama Bear is on full freaking protection roll. But anyways, you need to.
I wanted to take that into.
I want to take that somewhere though. But he's right. He's right. He will get crucified because of who he's with. And the fact of the matter is, that's the mentality that we're talking about. That mentality right there. Because of who he fell in love with, then we want to say that he no longer has a voice as a black man. The devil is a lie. He has a voice as a black male because now the thing and the fact of the matter is she is now go feel his pain. She is now be introduced to everything that comes along with the black family. She is now go have black children. She is now go have to go through the same things. So if we go try to do that kind of stuff, y'all, we need to stop the bull crap and be for real.
Say it.
For real.
Do better.
Because we got to do better. We got to do better.
And I kind of wanted to take that the other way because yes, we do need to do better. But I think, and I'm going to say this to all the white people who think that we should get over it. I really think that it'll be easier for us to get over it if y'all just come to terms and admit that that's what happened.
Oh man!
Because right now you want to say that it wasn't like that, or y'all want to come back and say that certain things didn't happen. It would be very easy for us to move on if y'all could just say, yes, it happened. And yes, we apologize for it. Now we can all move on.
But
instead of trying to say, well, I wasn't a slave owner,
I think,
and blah, blah, blah.
I think you're very correct.
You're not being empathetic with us. We know that you weren't a slave owner, and we weren't a slave in the field. But at some point, it comes to a point where you have to be able to identify with somebody's pain. You don't have to feel the same pain. You're never going to feel it. We're not asking you to feel it. But like, it's like y'all are just completely dismissing it. And so y'all want us to get over it, but y'all don't want to admit that's what happened.
Tag up.
I 100% agree.
I
was going to say, I 100% agree with that. I also think, too, that it's absolutely diabolical for a white person to think that in this letter, it said it will carry on for 300 years, for generations. And the same thing with white people. It is going to carry on in our thoughts and our actions and in our biases. So it is crazy to think that you don't think that what happened in those times is not carrying on, because if it's carrying on for everybody else in this world, why would it not carry on in ours?
Right. That's what I was going to say. Morgan said, admit, if it's, stop doing it. I mean, if y'all still doing it, just stop doing it. If you want us to get over it, stop doing it so we can actually try to get over it.
And stop trying to keep, like, when the playing fields get close or balance, stop trying to change the strategies so that we can stay in the state. Yeah. It's like we're staying in this perpetual state, and then when we our people are resilient, our people are strong, our people are beautiful, our people just keep moving forward, and then when we move forward, even with all the obstacles that's there, then you want to change up the game.
I was like, either way, we get mad.
Right, and I think that it is both ends we have to burn this right. I do think that white people have to say, "Damn, y'all, we effed them people up." We did. No. I'm just trying to be honest. Like, damn, we messed these people up, and it's been perpetuated for generations. They need to say, "Hey, y'all guys, we messed them up." Come to the black leaders and say, "Hey guys, it's jacked up. We own that part, but y'all can't keep saying the man when y'all are not going back to the community saying we have to fix ourselves.
Right.
Boom.
Y'all black leaders need to go back and say, "Hey guys, okay, we know what happened.
Here you go.
But now that, because it's like our mind still is in a jail cell." And we have the key in our hand, but we won't unlock it and let ourselves out the jail cell, right? And I know, but at some point we have to say, white people, help us as much as you can on your end, but we need to turn back to our community. Because remember, I told y'all the story. I preached a sermon at church about a eagle that fell into a pigeon's nest, a chicken's coop. All right. The eagle fell into a chicken coop at birth. It fell and it was just around all chickens, right? Right. So it behaved and acted like a chicken. Chickens can't fly. So the little baby eagle never flew because he never saw anybody flying, right?
He didn't know he could.
He didn't know he could because nobody around was flying, so he never even attempted to fly off. All right. And then as he grew up, now it was a grown eagle living with chickens, thought it was a chicken. So he never flew off. Then another eagle came and said, "Hey man, you're an eagle, bro.
Why aren't you flying?
Why are you walking around out here when you can just fly off?" But the eagle was in a prison in his mind that he was, I will acquiesce to the people that are around me, to my situation and my surroundings. They can't fly, I won't either.
Right.
It's at a point now that we need to say that the shackles and the jail cells are off, because there's only so long that you can blame the man. And we understand that it's still going. There's still vices against us, but that doesn't mean you can't help yourself Once you understand, you know better, you got to do better.
Okay, so I'm going to say 2 points and I'm going to play devil advocate in just a second. But the point to the sermon about the eagle and the chicken or whatever it was.
Yeah, the chicken.
We have to understand that if the eagle was designed to fly and he walked around the coop the entire time and he walked, his wings are weak.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
The muscles in the wing are
build
weak.
them up.
So he's going to have to build that up in order to get to the standard of what he was meant to be as an eagle.
Right.
Okay. Same thing with the mind. The mind is a muscle. So you gonna have to fight against what the easy way, the excuses, the what you call it, procrastination, the different things that keep us stagnant, the disbelief, the distrust, all of that stuff that keep us stagnant. You're gonna have to fight against that in your mind and push yourself to go farther than what you think you can go. But it was a point that you had said something I wanted to play devil advocate with, but I lost it.
Well,
I
know Mackenzie want to say something, but I want to say something right before the end. It's different when white people say, "Get your act together, get it together. You had enough time." Our defense mechanisms are on 10.
Yes.
We want to fight now. Like, you hadn't did this, but when one of your fellow black people say, "Hey, bro, we gotta stop this BS." You know, it's just. I know you want to say it, but it's different when one of us say, "Hey, it ain't the man, bro. You have been settling for less. You have been doing this. You have been doing this. You got to get out of this cage in your own mind." It's different when it's coming from one of our own saying, "Correct. We're settling for less. We're doing less. We're blaming." At some point, the blame game
has to stop.
Mm-hmm. White people can't tell us that because we're defensive on that, but we have to tell each other that.
And that's
go ahead. No,
that's what I was going to say about her story. She's absolutely right. The eagle has to build his mind, but at the end of the day, a chicken can't teach an eagle how to fly.
You right about it. Hold on.
And that goes.
Hold on, I need a double one of that.
And that goes back to what my dad was saying. The leaders in the black community, we got to step up. We got to do our job. We got to do our part.
That's where I was trying to go.
We have to do our part because who's going to help the mindset? Mm-hmm. Listen, a couple episodes. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna let y'all know. I work in the prisons. I work in the prisons around Georgia, and they'll listen to a white man for listening to me.
Yes,
straight up. They'll do it. They'll think his word means more, and it's kind of misconstrued because, like they said, like we have to take accountability too of what we do and what we say. Because hey, get your act together. Oh, you doing this because I'm just black. But if I said, "Man, you're supposed to be on my side, man. We both brothers. We looking like the handouts." That goes to that handout mentality that we just brothers. We supposed to do this. No, you just killed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do that.
Own that.
Own it. And that's what we have to do as leaders. We have to get these young dudes, these people to own the stuff.
I agree. So I'm probably gonna switch the conversation up just a little bit.
But before you do, okay.
Because I'm trying to get to this point that I never got.
All right, we'll get to it.
So the fact of the matter is, we saying that the leaders in the black community, we need to do more things of that nature, and I honestly 1,000% agree with that. But I am going to say that when we did have real strong black leaders, Malcolm X's, Dr. Martin Luther Jr. Kings, when we had those type,
Martin Luther King Jr.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
I know.
But when we had those type of leaders that had that type of grip and that type of influence that can move our people to another place, they were killed. Go back to the same scenario. No, go back to the same scenario you did with that wife and that husband and the master raping the husband.
I'm
and
not disagreeing with you.
And the same thing. And I feel like people are scared to put that weight on them. They're not built like that.
I just feel.
Show me one.
Listen.
Fred.
Hold on. Those people were killed. They started a movement.
Correct.
that disturbed the foundation of what was
correct.
What's going.
So
but
now you have no
listen.
really.
But what I'm saying is, you don't have to start a full scale movement to teach your child.
Nope.
Your brother.
You don't.
Your sister. Your mom.
Your friend.
Your dad.
Right.
Because
each one.
I know that if
yes.
As the Bible says, as a man thinketh,
so is he.
So is he. Once you remove the shackles from a man's mind, like I can help myself much more than a person that feels bad for me, or white people can give me a system or government cheese or this and that. I can help myself faster and more than you can help me. Mm-hmm. If I want it myself, I can do it faster.
Absolutely.
And like you said, I know I have weak wings. So I'm on a step. I can't get white people. I can't get to where you think you are. You had a much bigger head start than I did. And to get into this financial freedom, but we didn't got to financial freedom. We haven't got to real freedom yet. There's some of us locked up that shouldn't be locked up. Regular freedom to get to
financial freedom.
IRAs and Roth IRAs and this and investments, and they have the same opportunities that we have. No, the stagger is different.
Correct. And we don't.
But
just simple.
But we know we have weak wings, but we got to start somewhere.
I agree.
So that's what we have to each one teach one, help each other start somewhere, and there has to be grace on the other side that says I can't expect them to abolish the William Lynch letters mentality all in one day.
Right.
All in one generation.
When there's still lynching happening.
When there's still lynching happening, and we call that police shootings and things like that are real lynchings.
An actual lynching.
Right. So there is some grace that has to happen, but there's some self-starting that has to happen from our community.
Right. Absolutely. But I said I was going to play devil advocate.
Right. You did.
And you did that.
You did. You were the devil.
Yeah.
Really?
I said the advocate.
But anyways,
and even Tupac even said that he might not change the world, but he'll spark a mind to change the world. And I feel like that's a great mindset to have. This ain't gonna happen in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Or my grandkids, it ain't gonna happen in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But we have to spark that mind. Because my son can spark my grandson mind. My grandson can spark my great grandson mind, and it goes down from
right. And eventually
it's gonna happen.
Right.
Like Martin Luther King said, I might not get there with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he knew that this is gonna take longer than my lifetime.
Moses didn't get to the promised land, but he did the work.
Right. So
and even it goes back to these people knew they was gonna die. The disciples knew they was gonna die.
Absolutely.
And guys,
they knew they was gonna die.
And guys, one of the things that we're talking about is he's guilty. We're going back to the Jay-Z thing.
All the way off that.
Tying it back in is when you don't like another black person that's getting ahead, you don't like their music. It's easy to say.
Strengthen your wings.
It's easy to say, you know what? I haven't been a fan of their music. I haven't really listened to them that much. But, I mean, I'm sure they're great. I mean, a lot of people like him. He's number one on the billboards as the all-time best-selling rap artist. But because you listen to Dirty South music and Jay-Z from New York, it's not a position to hate. It's a position to say, man, everybody think the dude is good. I need to listen to him.
Right.
Versus he's trash.
Or he's just not my cup of tea. But
it's easy to say I don't have to like his music, but to have him guilty because you don't like his music, and because he's a billionaire, and because he married Beyonce, and because he's picking the halftime show at the NFL, because he's doing these things, then now I gotta hate him.
Right.
Get ready. Start on your baby wings and start like getting your strength in your wings.
Absolutely. And just to go back for a second, Adonis Harris said,
What's up,
I
Adonis?
agree, need leaders, but I truly can't see that having the same effect as the 1960s. The internet and social media has killed that. Not impossible, just way more difficult. We would focus on their flaws, meaning focus on the messenger, not the message. No one is perfect.
Right. And
that's good, AD.
And what I say to that is, like, again, they said in the book, the old attack the young attack the old. I'm finna be the young attacking the young right now. And ain't got nothing to do with the old folks, my parents, the 80s, the 70s. They bumped that right now. This is our time, our era, our prime. Mm-hmm. We got social media. That's the strongest platform of all time.
It is.
And yeah, our path is not, I ain't gonna say harder, but we have our difficulties just like they had their difficulties. Mm-hmm. It ratioed out. It weighed the same in their time. It weighed the same in our time.
That's
if
right.
If we get this, man, we straight, man. We really straight. I feel like we can use that as a step stool, as a platform. That's the biggest thing we can do. I look up LeBron James. I don't even know this dude. But the way he puts on his leadership,
and he's still married.
You can't
ain't been in no trouble.
That's one person.
Love his kids.
You can't hate.
Don't let the internet hear that, child.
You can't hate him. He's done nothing for you to hate.
Right.
He might not play basketball the way because you're a hater. Simply because you're just a hater. He might not play the way you want him to play, but you can't hate the man. He's a good dude.
Right. You might think that Michael Jordan is better. There's not a reason to hate LeBron.
And that goes back to that mentality. Yes. That goes back, that ties it right back to that mentality. Right. It's like you got you're pinned against
you have to hate one if you like one.
Exactly. You got to hate one and love the other. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's not the truth. That's not the truth. Everybody have their own audience. Everybody have their own platform. Everybody have their own fans. It's just like it is enough to go around for everyone. Just because somebody like Michael Jordan don't mean that every other freaking basketball player sucks.
But I also wanted to say about getting back to the Jay-Z thing. It's like once one little thing comes out, then there's 1,000 other things that came out. We knew he been like literally somebody today on online said Jay-Z been touching minors for years, but people defend him because he makes music they like to hear. But see, that's the thing. Where is any proof of Jay-Z touching minors for years?
So I'm gonna ask this. I'm just gonna have to ask. Right? How do you know?
Right?
Who you touching?
Oh, who you been touching for years?
Who you touching and been touching for years? I just want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Hey, I got a question too. Because Jay-Z was once in a picture with Diddy. Okay. All right. So Jay-Z was in a picture with Diddy. Let me ask you something. Have any one of y'all ever had a friend that was a hoe?
Or your mom's a freak?
That was a hoe, but you ain't one. But that's your homie. Are you now a hoe as well? Or have you ever had a friend that ever stole something?
Are you a thief?
Are you a thief?
Or are you the friend of a thief?
Oh, yeah. So every now and then, somebody you know or you've taken pictures with or you once hung with do something so stupid or heinous that you look and say, you know what? Nah, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with that. But you know that everybody has ever seen y'all together gonna say birds of a feather.
Flock together.
They flock together. So I'm asking everyone, are you your friends? Are you your cousins, your brothers, your sisters? Because are you all guilty by association?
Right.
I want to ask y'all that because y'all know y'all got some friends to do some things that you don't.
Absolutely, you do.
You really don't do that.
And if you say you don't, you'll lie.
You're right. So I just want to, for everybody that's accusing somebody for being around somebody that's like a certain way.
Y'all gonna start staying in a box.
Stay in the box.
Because you don't know what's going on behind nobody closed doors.
That's the truth.
And the fact of the matter is, the beautiful thing about people who have different gifts is they don't all have to be the same. You don't have to like them all. But that don't mean that just because you don't like them, that person is guilty of everything that you can possibly conspire in your mind.
Right. And the Bible said, let the wheat and the tare grow together. And don't mean you, because you the wheat and the tare y'all growing together, don't mean you're the tare.
Correct.
Right. Correct. And I just wanted to say, because I agree with this comment, and I really, somebody who believes that Jay-Z did this and you really don't like Jay-Z and Beyonce, I just want to know why. If you could drop that in the comments. Like, I really just would like to hear
that. A real
actual reason.
Right.
If you just don't like them, then that's just it. It's just something about my own life.
That's
real.
Because it's going to get down to, I think all rich billionaires are the same.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's not a reason to believe he's guilty.
I see somebody say that.
Or it's because, some other, if you don't know Jay-Z, you've never met him, you never hung around him, how do you know he's guilty?
Yes, because
you can be like, I have this gut feeling that
absolutely
maybe something's wrong there. That's different from saying, I know he did it.
Absolutely.
That's a whole different thing. And Adonis, back, I love Adonis. That's my dude. Adonis, you said something about, with social media out there. Adonis, we have to get to a point that we see all the negative influencers on social media.
Got to be the positive one.
It is high time that positive influences match or outweigh theirs.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
For people like a podcast that we're trying to do, there's some things that we can do. There are a lot of people out there that speak negatively. This is one of the things that when I say that you don't have to be a Jesse Jackson or a Martin Luther King to lead a people, but if you just teach your son and your daughter about fairness and how to look at another person and how to look at you're innocent till proven guilty and not the other way around, you're guilty until proven innocent. When you start training up a new generation, there'll be less people on social media that are negative.
Right.
And we have to offset that. You have a platform, I have a platform. We're trying to use ours the best way we can. And if I don't touch 1 million, if I just touch 10, if Marielle, Mackenzie, Morgan, and my wife touch 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 20, it's more than that was out there.
And I think for these days, like how Mom said with the Martin Luther Kings and people are afraid, I think now with the people in my generation, it's not more so afraid of the other side. It's more so we're tearing down our own people for trying to be positive. Mm-hmm. And I think that now with this generation who cares so much of what other people think of them, and I'm not saying that other generations didn't because, I can only speak on mine. Our people, like our age group, we care so much of what other people think of us, and that stops you from showing your light or being this one person that's set apart, because you are always going to get those comments.
Right.
You're stuck up. You're like this, and people will try to find your downfall or something that can hinder your character when you do that. So I really think it's just
So that's going to be people. So that is a part of fear.
Yes.
It may not be the fear of death, but it's a fear of
public persecution.
Public persecution. It ain't physical death, but it's some type of death.
And there's going to have to be those people who just get up and have that I don't give a F mentality of what you think about me. To be honest, it's going to have to be those people who just don't care.
As a Christian, I don't see nothing wrong with that mentality.
Me neither.
A lot of people they don't want to get uncomfortable.
Absolutely. There's no growth in comfortability.
Especially in our generation, the negativity is the masses. That's what's running World Star and Bad Girls Club and Shade Room and Only Koga and all these bad things going on. That's the masses. That's what you're gonna see. Negative. 7 out of 10 posts on your feed is gonna be a naked girl or somebody dying, somebody getting shot, somebody robbed, somebody
going to jail.
Somebody going to jail.
Right.
That's what's going to happen.
And that's what tends to spread.
And I personally, I don't share none of that stuff. I don't even put rap music on my post. I mean, I listen to rap music, but I don't even share, put it on my stories, none of that, because I'm I don't want to do that. I don't want to spread that. Right. Now, what I do in my personal life, I'm not trying to say I'm fake, but I don't want to give that message off.
Right. And I agree.
But it ain't got nothing to do with you being fake. It's got something to do. That's your private life.
Well, I'm just telling you
everything everything is not meant for everybody. Because you may be in your maturity and in your life and your walk, the next person may not be.
What I'm just saying is I'm not gonna do what you do. Correct. And I feel like if you get persecuted, just delete social media.
Right.
Just delete the app. I mean, if you're so scared of public persecution, delete the app.
I just really think like we just gotta, us as a people, we gotta stop tearing down people for trying to be positive. Right. Like, yes, this person may do this, but they're trying to be positive. And what are you doing? Nothing positive. Right. So why are we trying because we know this person, oh, he's not really like that, or this, that, and the third. I really think we have a bad habit of that. Instead of trying to push positivity, we push negativity, and it shows. Like, just like people have a positive light, there's a dark light around some people.
Right. And people gonna dog you out whether you
Regardless.
doing whatever.
Right.
Adonis said it best. Adonis said, yes, like Grandma said, baby, they talked about Jesus Christ and he never hurt nobody.
Absolutely.
To his face.
He never hurt nobody.
And they killed him.
Came to save you and
said
you
something
and you.
then.
And they picked Barabbas.
So
if
you're a people pleaser, you're out there trying to skate around.
It's not for you.
Hopefully that the cancel culture doesn't cancel you. So you're trying to play within the boundaries.
And you're canceling yourself.
You're canceling yourself.
You don't even know your own identity because you sit here trying to skate around what everybody else thinks you should.
And I think that's not for you. I think you're not, if you care about cancel culture, you try to skate around people's feelings, then maybe that's not for you.
Right.
Then you just need to go sit at a desk somewhere and post TikToks that everybody like and get your 12 likes and push on about your day. And you don't need to be trying to be the big person to push this, because you're going to have a breakdown later on in the bathroom because people are talking about you.
Going on.
Like, I'm just saying,
but no,
it's not
I
for
feel
you.
it though.
You're
but
right.
like, maybe because I'm over 50 now, I just don't care. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say,
had to get
and if it's for the benefit of people that are hurting, and the benefit of the people who are captive in their mind and need to get out of their jail cell.
Right.
We're gonna have to do that in increments or whatever. But at every time that we say it's them, we also have to say, "Damn, brother, but you did do that.
Yeah,
you did rob them.
Right.
I'm not supposed to free you.
You did put yourself
Ain't no free you
in a situation
bro,
that caused this to happen.
Yeah, you
did do it. You had a choice. Someone, whether you call me an Uncle Tom for saying, but look at the other side. Let's stop. The man did this. Okay, the man.
But you did something too.
But you chose.
You chose.
Absolutely.
It was a choice
To do this,
and now
it was against the law. It was against the law. Yet you did it anyway, bro. Let's renew our minds to do it and think of it a different way for everyone in the Black community, every grandmother, every parent, every mom, every dad, every sister, and every brother. No one changes until they take self-accountability.
right.
If I continue to blame you for all my problems, I will never be well.
You ain't gonna change.
Right. And
I'll never be well.
There's nothing to change.
At some point, I have to take accountability for my own actions.
Right.
That is bigger than any stimulus or anything that anyone could ever give our people if we renew our minds.
Absolutely.
And I am living proof, Lord Jesus, because I don't give a piss about nothing you talking about. I don't know about nobody. Yeah. If you know me, I don't even gotta say it. If you see me, you see my name, you know what's up.
Just
I don't care about nothing you're saying. I ain't 50. I'm 24.
Right. Absolutely.
And I don't care about nothing.
Just like Adonis,
I'm gonna be me. And if you got a problem with it, you can walk outside.
Kick rocks, right? Adonis just said everybody ain't built to be a leader.
Right.
That's right.
But
that's good.
But you don't have to be a leader to help lead yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're right. Everybody ain't a leader of the people.
But that's a good thing, because now, and I do want to take that somewhere. That is absolutely good, Adonis, because a lot of times you can put leader in, you can change leader and put influencer.
If you ever read, like my wife, I'm piggybacking, I'm gonna shoot it back to you. If you have ever read John Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, which is a great leadership book, it basically says leadership is nothing but influence.
That's right.
If you can influence me, you're leading me.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then you don't have to see, a lot of people, they take leader or influencer and they feel like it has to be these multi-millions of numbers,
right?
In order for it to be worth something. I feel like Marlon was saying, if you only reach one, if you only reach your own family, if you only reach 5, That's leading.
That's leading.
That's leading. Your platform don't have to be as big as the biggest influencer on TikTok. Your platform, long as you're doing the work. Because at the end of the day, if the people that are connected to you are the people that you reach, the Lord is going to be satisfied with that.
That's right.
And one thing that y'all always taught me and Mackenzie is that you don't know you're a leader. Somebody's always watching you.
Yes.
So what you may be doing, you think you're doing it and nobody looking at you, but somebody's always watching you. You may not be made to be the person to be on a podcast or anything like that, but people are looking at you. I have friends that don't make videos that inspire me all the time. They don't make videos. I just know them as a person, and that's inspiring. Right. You don't know. I might not tell you, hey, I'm watching everything you do, and I really love that, and you're a great person. But someone is always watching you. That goes for when you're being a good person or being a bad person. Like, we always got that talk, like, somebody's watching you. You got little sisters, little cousins, little girls that follow your page. You work where you work at. You might have people follow, and it don't always have to be somebody younger than you either.
And it can be somebody that you just met because, and it's just a story. It ain't necessarily about follow, but it's just about how people connect and how people remember things. And you can do one thing, and a person will probably remember you the next time you see him. Because we was in Walmart. Yes. We was in Walmart and.
I know what you're gonna say.
And the guy on the other aisle that works there, he was stocking shelves or whatever the case might be, and he pushed a little too hard. And we was on the wine aisle, and one of the bottles of wine fell down and broke. I'm at the one end of the aisle, Morgan at the other end of the aisle, and then these dudes was sitting there. They were talking to Morgan, and then Morgan threw her hands up like, I ain't do it. And they was like, we saw you, we know you ain't do it, whatever the case may be. And then the next day we had to go to Walmart again. And then one of the guys was there, and he looked at Morgan, was like, I know who you are. You that girl that broke that wine. But he was just joking with her, but for whatever reason, that
it struck a memory.
It stuck a memory in his mind, and so he was able to know who she was the next time he saw her. Right. So, and that just goes back to saying, even when you don't think people are watching you, they're watching you. And even if you think they are not noticing you, they're noticing you.
Right.
And that's why I don't like being late. That's the first thing you would know about somebody. Dang, they were late. That's the first thing. They're not even here. I don't even know what this is right now. That's my pet peeve. I just want to put that out there. I don't like being late.
Yeah, the Bible went on to say that once you have been enlightened, you can't go back. It says that once you've been enlightened, once you know something, you can't go back. So we read the William Lynch letters to make sure that now some of it. I encourage everyone to go look at the entire manuscript.
It's a very thin pamphlet. This one I purchased 2 of them. But
I've seen it for $4.99 and $7.98. Yeah, like they're not expensive.
You can read it online for free,
and and it's only like 23 pages.
Right.
And whether you believe it's a real letter or
made
debunked,
up.
That's a key to unlocking your mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's a key.
It's something to think about for certain.
Right. And when you look at what you're saying about people who own the business, he said, yeah, I know they got to open up a little business, or
they got a little podcast that they do on Mondays.
Right, they got a little podcast.
They got a little podcast,
that little job up there or something.
It's different from saying, yeah, they got a little podcast. You making the face versus, yeah, I heard they got a podcast. I need to be more into it. I don't know much about it yet. I'm gonna listen to it.
All right.
Both are saying that I don't know much about the podcast, but one has a different connotation.
A negative connotation to it.
One is negative and one is positive. So when you're speaking about something that you don't know about, or it's just not your taste, different than saying it's trash.
Right.
Versus saying,
it's not my cup of tea.
It's not my cup of
tea.
I typically listen to something else.
Right, but I'll look into it.
Or
I'll look into it. I'm gonna see what the hype is about. Let me check.
It's trash and they guilty.
Oh man,
I'm sorry.
Boy, saying someone that you know, and I that's one of my pet peeves. I know we're already an hour and 14 minutes into this, and we're about to close like now.
Yes.
I can't stand it when we say we know something about something that we don't know about, because the people that you're an influencer, you have influence, you're a leader of someone. I think everyone is a leader of someone.
Yes.
Whether it's your little sister, your little brother, your cousin, there's one friend that look up to you and think you're good. You're a leader of someone. And when you say you know something, it sounds definitive.
Right.
Like you know.
Like this is a fact.
Yeah, it's a certain.
When you say, oh, he did it, I know he's guilty, and there has not been facts proven to show so. Like me, I'm saying, if I say I don't think he did it, then later on evidence comes out that he did, I would say, well, based on when I made that statement, only this evidence was out.
Right.
Now that I see that more evidence is out, my answer has changed.
Or I don't think he did it. He did it. Oh, dang, he did. Dang, he
right.
did do it.
Man, it's like I reserve the right to say he is innocent until proven guilty.
Because you want the same right.
I would want that right. You would.
Yeah, right.
You would want that right to say when the evidence comes out, if it's a preponderance of evidence against me, it puts me there the time and place at the same time. It does this. Now there's like, I don't know. But until I get that, I really don't know. I can't say to anybody, because if I say to a person that I have influence over, hey, I know he did it. Yes. That person looks at you as an authority figure, and the person that they look up to, and guess what they'll say to all of their friends?
They know
I know he did it.
He did it.
I trust him.
He did it.
And they gonna say, I know.
And you're saying it as a level of fact, not that I don't feel he did it or he could have done it. You're saying he did it.
But it's just like,
and I have a pet peeve against that. That really irritates me, because you don't know he did it, but you're telling people definitively, I know he did it, or she did it, or I know they're cheating. I know they're messing around with each other. Have you ever seen them? Nope. Did one of them tell you that they're messing around? Nope.
You know what that makes you?
Have you seen a picture or video or anything? No. But I think they are. But you're saying now, you're saying I think they are. But to them, the people that you influence, you're saying I know that they're doing this. Like the word "no," and I'm sure of it.
It weighs a lot.
It weighs a lot.
Yes. Deacon Richard says, "Get all the facts before making judgment." Absolutely.
Exactly.
What was you gonna say, Mama?
That's my dude. I love you, dude.
Thank you, Morgan. So what I was gonna say was, even like in the court of law, when you sitting there and you part of that jury selection, and they're going to present all of the evidence to you before you make your decision. Of course, some of you guys may have decisions, or some of the jurors, the decisions, they may have already in their mind sized it up, or whatever the case may be. But they say, put all your biasness aside, put all this to the side, and you look straight at the evidence.
Right.
Yeah, you judge the facts. And if there's any shadow of a doubt,
reasonable doubt at all,
then you cannot, convict them as a guilty party, or whatever the case may be. And that's the thing is, and I'm guilty of it. I am. I'm one of them. You guilty until proven innocent. I am one of those types with certain situations. But that's when somebody is real close in my inner circle, in my inner home and stuff like that. I can pick up on things, or whatever the case may be. But like for someone that I just don't know, and that's celebrity status, I don't think I'm as much. I used to be, but I'm in my older age, I'm not as much. But we're gonna have to start learning to look at allowing all of the evidence to present itself before we start going to that I know mode.
Right.
Because when you just have a feeling, then just say that.
I got a feeling.
I have a feeling.
A gut feeling. Yeah, I don't know.
I have a feeling.
Right. Will you have that feeling? Find out next time.
right. I'm gonna leave you with one last thought, guys.
Uh-oh.
One last thought.
Get ready.
As we're saying these things about everyone, their little business, their little something, and you're looking at somebody's side eye, whatever, they ain't doing nothing. I want you to remember the William Lynch letter and say to yourself, show the book again, babe. Bam. Ooh. I want you to say to yourself, is what I said, a product of the William Lynch letter? Am I just hating because I was programmed to? Start to look at the things that you say and how damning it is to someone before you say it, and even after you say it, even if you say something, because when you know better, you do better. Once you say something that, like, damn, I shouldn't have said that because I really don't know. Mm-hmm. Go back and say, look, y'all, I want to correct something I said yesterday.
I do that.
I want to correct something that I said yesterday or the day before because I don't know that dude. I never met him. I don't know her, him, them. I don't know. And maybe what the gut feeling I have is a product of me being pitted against someone that is at a different level than I am or a different situation that I am. And it may be that I'm acting a product of the William Lynch letter.
Right. So
read that yourself.
Will you read it? Find out next time.
My son ready to close. But for all y'all, we love y'all. And we thank y'all for coming out. God bless you.